Oye, team directors. So this set of videos is an updated version to go along with the new, at least as of Season 12 for Stellar Explorers, STK instructions to hopefully supplement getting it installed and up and running on your devices. Now, I can't say that this will work on every single computer. You might be in a computer lab of some kind, but this is installing the materials on one of the laptops that our teams use to compete on that doesn't have that isn't permanently in a lab or anything like that. So for this will be kind of the standard computer installation. What we see on here is actually very similar to the exact same screens that we get when we install this on our computers that are provided by our school district, though many of those are actually in classrooms or semi-mobile laptops, even though they are on our network. That being said, so this is the, I believe, first video in a series of 4 that's going to give you a walkthrough of the broad steps on how to access all the things that you should need for STK 13.0 Premium. I'm going to repeat that a couple of times so that you're certain that you get the correct one. But speaking of which, jumping in. Okay, so I'm loading this up. As of right now, my website is not currently updated, so you can see right now it still says for Season 11. Hopefully by the time you're viewing this video, it should be replaced with Season 12, and I'm going to try and update each of these videos. Right now, we're looking at obtaining and using the free license. Now, you'll need to go through AGI. I have some links, but right now I'm going to have to update those. One thing that I would recommend, I don't know if you have to be logged in to see it, but I preemptively logged in. So I went over to a new tab, a new window. I just Googled AGI STK and then brought up just the first link, Products AGI. And then when I first got here, it said log in or create account. I logged in with my credentials. So team directors, which is for whom this video is actually intended, especially when you have a registered team, because you will need to register a team at Stellar Explorers in order to get the license to actually make this work. If you watching this are not a team director, then you could still go through and sign up for an account at ANSYS, AGI, and they can get you set up with a temporary license for about a week or 2, I think, so that you could do things like pursue STK certification. And for team directors, if any of your students, your competitors, want to go for STK certification, level 1 is actually pretty easy, and they can sign up for an account and go through the steps to do that. Level 2, I've not got yet, it's been on my list, but will prove a little bit more challenging. Okay, just to make certain that we have access to all the things, I just brought up the main webpage at agi.com, logged into my account, so I'm actually already logged in. Some of the pages that we'll see, especially the downloads page that we're going to bring up in one of the other videos coming up soon, it may not be something that you can access easily until you are logged in on your account. It's got a little warning on here. I always accept all cookies. If you want to do cookie settings, that's entirely up to you. But I would recommend going ahead and logging into agi.com when you're trying to get some of these resources. Next up, this is a link that is sent to the team directors on the Stellar Explorer stuff. You would click on instructions to request an STK license. Like, everything on here is important for you to get done, but this video is geared around the STK licenses. That brings you to this page. They've got it marked right now that it's under construction, and it's currently being updated for STK 13.0, which is what we're working on and the point of this video, in fact. So, scrolling down, there's a lot of great information in here, but the big thing that you want starting off is, step 1, visit, and then they have a link to the website here. When you click that, it brings up capture license server information. Once again, it's saying accept all cookies. I don't know if you need to be logged in order to see this page or not, but if you followed my instructions, you're already logged in, you can see it just fine. You would click right here where it says step 1, download the Windows x64 zip right there. Now, I've already actually done that, so I can go up here to my downloads, expand this, and I can see it here. Now, the thing about it, this is a zip folder. If you're not familiar with this, it makes it where it's kind of hard to just open the thing up. So I'm going to recommend, and you'll see this later with when we download the version of STK, The Win64 zip, you can probably just click directly on it, but the STK version, you probably can't. I like to right-click and go to Show in Folder, and that'll bring up the actual location in the folder. In fact, I'm already a step ahead because I've downloaded some of the other things that we need. But first, since I downloaded this today, it says WinX64, and it's got a picture of a folder with a little zipper on it, even though that can be kind of hard to see. Right-click and do Extract All. Now, my operating system is Windows 11, so if you're on Windows 10, first off, you probably want to upgrade that sometime soon because they're going to stop supporting Windows 10, just FYI. But your right-click window might look a little bit different, but there should be an option that says Extract All. I think this one's small enough that you don't actually have to extract. It'll by default put it in whatever folder the zip folder's in, your downloads, which is perfectly fine. Click Extract. And, okay, this one is acting a little weird, but we will need to do that on the other. You can open it up. The first thing that we're looking for is ANSYS Reg Server or Reg Server. I'm going to double click on that. And here's where it says, hey, I can't run this in an actual like regular zip folder. Click Extract All is probably the best way of doing it. It'll ask you again. I'm just going to click Extract. It'll be fine. It looks like everything's the same, but you'll notice that this time ANSYS Reg Server actually has the logo. That's your clue that it's been unpacked properly. You can delete all of this stuff later, but it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. You want to run the Reg Server. This is the thing that's going to create the file that Stellar Explorers needs to get you a license. I don't think you actually have to fill in any of the information. What I've been doing to keep my information clear, and I haven't actually opened it up, but I have a spreadsheet because I have, for my team, something like a dozen computers that we are requesting licenses for. We've had up to 5 teams competing, so that means we would need at least 5 licenses, and it's advised to have a backup computer, if you can, for each of the teams, if you can, so that would put me up to like 10. So in this case, speaking from experience, if you have a couple of teams or a number of computers that you're balancing, organizing those might be good. So I actually have a list that says, hey, it's this laptop, say Alpha, for instance, because I've given them numerical or alphabetical names, but just keeping track of which one's which. I don't think it's going to cause any problems, but for me, I'm going to go ahead and put my name, StellarX12, that's the current season that we're gearing up for, and I'm going to do my license number that I'm going to be using anyway. So I have been instructed for this video to use the non-team number of 0999. You will, once again, need to have a registered team with Stellar Explorers. You don't actually have to fill in the your name part right here. I'm also going to put -02. This is the second license file that I'm going to be requesting on this. My computer's name is Lyra. That's something that you control on the computer itself, but do not change the name of the computer after you have done your install of the actual materials, because it makes it where the stuff doesn't work quite right. So make certain that you're not changing the computer's name on a regular basis. You don't have to put your name in there, but I've gone ahead and done that. I don't think it's going to cause any problems. I'm going to click OK. And it is now giving me some information here. In my actual file, I've got my host ID and a couple of other things that I write down just so that I've got them, including the computer name. In this case, for mine, it's Lyra. For some of my computers on campus, they have specific names that were set up by IT that I cannot change. But then I can keep track of which one's which. You will need to match your license file that they send back to the computer that it was created with, namely the host ID. So keeping track of that can be useful. I'm going to click Create File, and it's going to ask me, hey, where do you want to save this? Now you can put it just in Documents or whatever comes up by default, but as you will see in some of my other videos, I like to go to the desktop. I always create a folder called Upload. That is where I put anything that I'm going to send out to the internet. In this case, it is saying lice server with no additional items on there. I believe, let me see, I don't think it's going to yell at me, but I'm going to go back to, yes, here. So save the file as lice server, exactly as the thing comes up, put a dash, and then STLX12, then dash, then your team names. And like I said, I'm using the non-team number in this case of 0999. Do not use that. I have set up something with Stellar Explorers that we're doing that for this video for a couple of reasons. If you use 0999, they will not be able to get you your materials. You must use one of your team numbers from a registered team that you have set up with them. But I will be using 0999 for my videos here. Okay, now that I've got that, I've got the lice server here, so I'm going to do dash STLX12 dash 0999. That would be your team number would go there. And then I'm going to do dash. Normally you would do 01. I've got a couple of computers that I'm getting set up for this. And there was another one that I already got set up. So this one's going to be dash 02. And that's where keeping track of which one is which can be useful. I'm going to click save on that. Great. So now that I've got that, this is actually the page that you want to be on anyway. So we had clicked here. That took us over to, in a different window, the place where we could download the zip here. We unpacked the zip and then actually generated our file. Now that we've got that, double check that it is in the right format, and I could do the following. Select files. Now I can go to, there's my desktop, I can go to upload, and it doesn't see any of the files. This is a common thing that's happened to me, and I assume a lot of other people over the years. It is looking for something that is .info. So in this case, what you can do, go back over to the folder where you have saved this. I've got mine, license server STLX12-0999. The correct team number goes there for you. And then I like to put an index on the end, which I think they tell us to do as well. Yeah, if you're requesting more than one license for a team, add a -2, 3, etc. Small thing on that, you'll see that I put in 02. Remember, I'm dealing with 10 or more, and so sometimes it gets a little weird when it's organizing stuff. Okay, in this case, it's not identifying it. Find the file itself. It has no format attached to it whatsoever, no file type. Go over, right-click, and I used to know how to do this in Windows 10. You would go to rename. In Windows 11, the way that I found it is go to Properties, and then on the end of this, let's see if this works. I have not actually checked this yet, but I'm going to go to the name of it, and I'm going to put .info on it. I'm going to click OK. Now it's got that on there. Used to give me warnings on it, but I'm pretty certain that's working fine. Let's see. I'm going to do select files, and I'm going to go to upload, and now that it's .info, it is seeing it correctly. So I'm going to double click on that, and it has a little bit of a form it wants me to fill out. Let's see. My name for this is Belta Loda. Hopefully they'll be fine with that. You would put your actual name and your actual email in here. inyalodasat@gmail.com. So the other thing that I would recommend on this, if I'm not mistaken, they are only going to send these back. Like, you can put your email in, but when we do this for our teams, I put in the email that is registered for our team director. My experience has been they will usually only send the license files back to the registered team director. So when you are filling this out, if you are the team director, use your name and the email you used to register your team. Or if you're not, if you're someone like me who's a technical mentor, when I fill this out to actually send these things in, I actually attach them under our officially registered team with my regular name with the team director's name, I should say, and their registered email. So I'm going to click send on this. I think you can attach multiple ones. So if you have multiple license files, you can drag all of them and drop them directly in here, or you can do them one at a time. I'm going to click send. Uploading. Do not turn off your browser. And here's how we upload. 100%. And we're done, I think. There we go, successfully uploaded. Then you could do a new upload with the other license servers that are needed. And it says allow 1 to 3 business days for the Stellar Explorer staff to process your request. Our next step will then be to go through, I believe we can follow along down here. If you are in a lab, like a computer lab, sometimes they have additional things where the host ID is not unique from the computers. So you would need the host ID and also to track something called the MAC address. I'm not going to go into that here, but if you're dealing with lab computers, that might be something that you write down. Then the next thing we'll do is download STK Premium, but we're going to take a look at that in our next video to split this up a little bit. Okay, hopefully you found that useful. Until next time.